you guys, welcome to my channel. I am Jackie, JQ Crafty. I am so excited to be able to join Shuwen. You guys know her as Shoe Puff Creations, I believe. She started an awesome little mini series community project thing called Stretch Your Stamps Scrapbooking, and I believe this is the third month she did it. So she started in July, and she's had some guests every month. They started with solid stamps in July. In August, they did floral stamps. It's showing you different ways or giving you tips or techniques on how to use your stamps. This month, I am being joined, I get to join in with her, as well as Diane and Andrea. Their links will be down below, as well as make sure you check them out on Instagram, and make sure you check out the hashtag SYS Scrapbooking. That will get you to all the videos that are related to this lovely little series that she started. But this month, we're focusing on alphas. So, I'm going to show you, I keep saying so. A lot of times, what's the main thing you do with alphas? You usually do titles, right? I like to create background or focal areas with alphas, and I've done it a couple times. Sometimes it's fun to do it with multiple alphas in one color, and you create like a collage. Here, let me get you an example. So I created this layout using a bunch of my different alphas and just creating a collage on a stamping block. I just took my biggest stamping block I have, this nice one from Hero Arts, and I just put as many alphas as I could on there, and then I multiple stamped them in just one color, and it created this awesome background. So I'm going to do something similar, but we're only going to do one letter today, and that is going to be the letter J, because my son is named after his grandfather, so we're going to focus on that. Their names are both James, and I have these awesome pictures from a photo shoot. I recently, went to Joann's and picked up some paper. So I've got my beautiful coconut swirl basil cardstock we're going to stamp on, and then I've got some Simple Stories birch cardstock from pattern paper Color Vibe, plus these two just open pattern paper American Crafts paper. They don't have names, but they're very, very pretty, and I really liked the reds to bring out the reds in their plaid and the black, and it wasn't super masculine, but it didn't scream lumberjack, and I really liked this deep red to bring out the reds and the heart. So I haven't decided exactly what colors we're going to stamp, but I kind of want to do in the colors that are all in this paper and just really focus on the J. So yeah, we're going to do that. So let me go grab my stamps and start picking out some colors, and I'll put you guys on fast forward and let's get started. So spoiler alert, this doesn't turn out really how I thought it maybe would in my brain, but I do like the effect it gives. I think I just had some of the wrong paper choices. Anyway, so another thing I could have done, which is actually probably what I should have done, is created a collage with just a bunch of J's in all different fonts and done like a background. But instead what I did this time is I basically was going to create my own pattern paper just using J, the letter J. And so after I kind of trimmed down these papers, I'm figuring out what I want to do. I want to have kind of a column. And I think if I would have had more just solid type papers instead of this heart paper as well, it maybe would have turned out a little bit better. I like the way it looks. I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to redo it or anything. But it just turned out different from what I envisioned. And I think there's some things I could have tweaked to maybe make it even more effective, but I'm sure the other lovely ladies that are playing and giving some inspiration on using your alphas and stuff this month will have some awesome layouts, so make sure you go check them out. But right now I'm just kind of figuring out, okay, I want to have kind of a vertical column of where I'm going to stamp. So I trimmed a few strips off the red pattern paper, I'm going to kind of border the heart pattern paper with it. And then I just marked where that was so that I don't need to stamp all over the background. And I can just focus the stamping in the column where it's going to even show. I ended up covering some of it up anyway. So what I have here is I have the Jane Alpha from LA Studio. And I decide I'm going to just create like a random pattern of J's. I didn't want it to look super linear. I didn't want it to be rows because one of those things, you know, sometimes when you look at certain words and after you look at it for a long time, you're like, that word's weird. It looks weird. The J's were looking, I'm like, they look like candy canes. They look like upside down candy canes. That's all I kept thinking. And I don't know why, but I think, yeah, so I just wanted to stamp randomly. I'm just using some Versamark black and stamping the outline alpha. And then I have the solid Jane Alpha. And so I'm going to go ahead and use a bunch of different Distress Oxides and stamp just randomly inside a few of them to give some color to this background that we're doing. So I have Crackling Campfire, Aged Mahogany, Chipped Sapphire, Hickory Smoke, and Speckled Egg are the colors that I'm going to use. I'm just going to kind of randomly stamp some of them inside. I leave some of them open. And I feel like there's a bunch of different ways you could do this. I would love to hear different ways that you think you could, or that this would inspire you to try to do something on your background. And make sure if you post on Instagram, social media, on Facebook or anything, make sure you use the hashtag, the SYS Scrapbooking, so we can all see what you've created. But I really like, just in general, creating backgrounds with alphas, and creating like title backgrounds is really fun too. I've stamped words. Those are actually just word alphas. That's not even like letter alphas. But creating some fun backgrounds with your alphas is one of my favorite things to do, because I feel like you can stretch them just a little bit more. So now that I've done all that and I've got a few of them colored, I'm going to start building the rest of my page. So I'm laying down that red paper and then the heart paper, that little strip on the right, and I'll do the same thing on the left, put the strip down and trim off the excess. And we will be almost done. This page doesn't get a lot because I think with all the color and the treatment with the alphas in the background, there's a lot to look at already. So I kept my embellishing rather simple. So I decided to take the wood grain paper, and that is what I'm going to mat my photos in. I trimmed them down a little bit. I have 2 color and 1 black and white, and I'm going to pop the black and white one up on some foam. And at first, when I was kind of figuring out the layout of what I wanted to do, I had actually put the photos on the left-hand side of the page, but I end up putting them on the right this time, now that I'm actually doing it. I'm roughing up the edges a little bit, just to give it an extra something. Yeah, for some reason I liked it better over there. Kind of overlapping that transition. So after I get this popped on phone, I'm going to go dig through the rest of my LA Studio goodies. I'm thinking I want a cluster of some sort down on the left-hand side, and then that leads me to also then want a cluster on the right, upper right, and then a tiny one down at the bottom of the photos. But first I'm going to lay down my tiles. So I have these old alphas. I don't even know what brand they are, but they're just a black, and a font, and I'm trying to use up some of my stash. And so I'm just going to make the title Namesake. Use my thickers tool, line them up, stick them down. That way they get semi-straight. And I like the way they pop even on top of that J column that we created, or I created. So laying those down, and then now I've got my LA Studio goodies out. So I'm finding a couple things. This is Time Together, a little tab, and then a heart, little loose piece. And I have all these labels, and I decided I want some circular labels. So I'm going to go ahead and find a couple circle labels. I'll cut one in half, this black one, and I'll tuck it under that photo, and then I'll use the other half down on the bottom left, and then a red one that is like the deep burgundy-ish red that's in the photo, in the background paper, in the hearts, that one as well. And just do some popping up of some items in the little clusters, and keeping flat. And then I have places I can journal if I want, or they're just nice little simple clusters to kind of bring the triangle around the photos and get your eye to focus on what is truly important about the page, right? The photos. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little idea for creating, using your alphas and using them in different ways. I hope you give it a try. You can either try this or any other technique using your alphas in the background. I'm just doing some splatters with some rose gold red from Shimmers, and here's some close-ups. And I really appreciate you checking my video out today. Make sure you see everybody else who is playing, and we will see you again some other time. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give it a good thumbs up, and I appreciate you all. Bye.